Good evening, America. It's Walter, your favorite historian, educator, professor, and social studies extraordinaire, here today to discuss the demonization of the 4th of July by the woke left. Now, of course, everybody knows that July the 4th is the day that the United States of America celebrates its independence, even though that is not the official day in which the United States declared independence from Great Britain. It was actually July the 2nd. But I digress. That's not what this video is about. This video is about the woke left, of which I happen to be a member, demonizing black Americans for celebrating the 4th of July, all right, as opposed to celebrating Juneteenth or celebrating Juneteenth as well as the 4th of July, all right. Now, in the United States, the 4th of July has never been a huge holiday for African Americans. Indeed, black Americans generally treat the 4th of July as, a day to gather with the family and have a cookout and go watch fireworks, maybe do a little bit of flag waving. But, black Americans have never quite gotten as absorbed by the 4th of July as white Americans of all backgrounds. And that's, of course, due to some of the, historical connotations with the 4th of July. Nonetheless, July 4th is America's celebrated Independence Day, all right? And, of course, that's what I was referring to was just the general perception. There are a lot of black Americans who go head over heels for the 4th of July, all right, and decorate their houses and cars in addition to the cookouts and the fireworks, all right? Some black Americans don't celebrate the 4th of July at all right, preferring instead to celebrate Juneteenth, all right? However you celebrate it as a black American, it's fine with me. That's part of your constitutional right to freedom of expression, protected by freedom of speech in the First Amendment to the Constitution, all right? I don't demonize you for celebrating the 4th of July, however you choose to celebrate it, nor for not celebrating it at all. I celebrate it every year. I celebrate Juneteenth every year, all right? My problem is with the woke left and black Americans who demonize other black Americans for celebrating the 4th of July, like I said, in conjunction with Juneteenth or as opposed to Juneteenth at all right? I love my country. I'm a very patriotic American, all right? And anybody that knows me knows that very well, all right? And it bothers me that they think that black people are wrong for celebrating the 4th of July, all right? And that's just complete rubbish to me, to put it in the mildest way I can, all right? First of all, July 4th and Juneteenth are two different things. July 4th acknowledges the independence of our nation from another nation. Juneteenth acknowledges the freedom, the unofficial day of freedom for a race of people in this country, African Americans, all right? There is no conflict in celebrating the 4th of July and celebrating Juneteenth. They are acknowledging two different things, right? And it, strangely enough, seems to be in the minds of a lot of people that if you're an African American, you can't celebrate 4th of July. Without the 4th of July, there would be no Juneteenth to celebrate in the first place, because there'd be no United States of America, and therefore no logical reason to have Juneteenth, because obviously there'd be no unofficial date for the end of slavery in the United States of America, all right? So, and who knows how it would have turned out regardless without American independence. That's, again, another subject for another day. But the two holidays can absolutely be celebrated by African Americans. One holiday is celebrating the independence of our nation. The other holiday is celebrating the independence of our people, all right? And there is no conflict. And it bothers me how some black people think that other black people are wrong for celebrating the 4th of July, all right? My response to them that think it's wrong for black people to celebrate 4th of July is this. Who the hell are you? Who died and made you king? And therefore to dictate what holidays that I, as first of all, an American, and secondly, a black American, can celebrate. All right? Like I said, I celebrate both faithfully every year. And another thing that bothers me is just the profound hypocrisy. Is that, and also, it's only been an in vogue thing in recent years to not celebrate the 4th of July as a black American. When I was growing up, in the 80s and 90s, nobody thought it was particularly a great thing to bash the 4th of July. All right, who are you gaining bonus points, any brownie points from by doing so? We celebrated the holiday every year. We had cookouts, we watched fireworks, we waved the flag. I'm wearing the flag, all right? So, that's a new in vogue thing among the woke left. Like I said, I belong to woke left. I'm as liberal and progressive as you can get. But sometimes they take some really stupid positions, and to me, that's one of them, all right? And, many of them are hypocrites, in my humble opinion, because on July 4th, I'm scrolling down my Facebook feed, and all I see is lots of posts by black folks. Oh, 4th of July, we don't do that, and I don't acknowledge 4th of July. And my response to all of them was this. Half of you hypocrites out here bashing the 4th of July didn't even acknowledge Juneteenth a few weeks earlier. Right or wrong? Totally correct. All right? And also half of them talking about they don't acknowledge or celebrate the 4th of July ended up at somebody's cookout that day. I bet any amount of money all of them did. So, just the hypocrisy and the stupidity with that position is just amazing to me. And it's not one I'm going to ever agree with, their demonization of the 4th of July. Because, once again, the 4th of July acknowledges the independence of our nation from Great Britain. And Juneteenth acknowledges the freedom of our people from hundreds of years of slavery. The two holidays, in my opinion, do not interconnect. They are not one and the same, and they celebrate different things. As an African American man, I proudly celebrate both of them. And as a freedom-loving American, a progressive Democrat, Democrats are patriotic too, folks. As a freedom-loving Democrat, most importantly as an American, I protect your right to feel however you want, but don't demonize me for celebrating the holidays that I want to celebrate. Just as you perhaps don't celebrate the 4th of July, I celebrate it. And I protect your right to not celebrate it as well as celebrate it. All right, so that's just my vent and rant that I had to get out here about black folks who happen to be members of the woke left demonizing other black people who celebrate the 4th of July. So if I haven't bored you to death, thank you so much for listening. Hope you maybe gained some insight from it. If you have any comments, maybe you disagree with what I say, hopefully you agree with what I say, I'd love to hear what you think. Leave them down below. I'll talk to you at the next video. Be blessed and stay safe out there. Professor out.